Call law Yahbashim Yahshai Barakakadash, Yahbashim Yahshai Bashim Kakadash Brakathon, double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well, blessings and salutations to you brothers out there, teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. This is GMS Any Quick in the Spirit with your brother Ra'ad in the Nebraska camp. So this lesson right here is going over the prophecies of the famine. Matter of fact, we're gonna come straight out with the scripture. Okay, in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 19, it says, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment." Okay, an amendment is a statement or even a declaration. Okay, it says, "But for all these things they shall not turn their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges." Now, when we're talking about these famines, now, on one hand, it could be naturally orchestrated, or it could be economically orchestrated. At the end of the day, the results is what? Famine. And everything is done through who? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, the Most High and the Son. Okay, so I don't care if you got a scientific explanation, it's still a famine. Okay, so I seen an article on RT the other day, and it prompted me to look up various other articles. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first one, the one that caught my eye. All right, start off with that one, and it came out yesterday. Going back to India. Okay, it says major global breadbasket fears crop slump. Okay. Now, one thing, if you notice, I put it on post-production. Let's go to my camera fold so I can see myself. That when you're talking about grains and everything, the leading grain producers, okay, is the EU, China, India, Russia, the US, Australia, Ukraine, Pakistan, Canada, Argentina. Okay. Now, once you hear about the top names, I read it from top to bottom. These are all countries that got something going on, some miraculous turmoil. You know, the EU got the Brexit and everything, which is kind of unrelated to the situation, but it's still related, being it's economic. They really don't have any crop, situation that I'm aware of. Okay. But we do know there's an article on China that I'm going to read today. Right now I'm reading India. Okay, we already know what's going on with Russia. The U.S. is dealing with some things, fertilizer plant explosions. Okay, and the Ukraine is already going through their woes. Okay, Australia is also going through their fires, but I don't know how that's affecting their crop. Okay, I'm sure it is though. So when you go back to RT, it says major global breadbasket fears crop slump. India's record heat wave threatens wheat exports amid existing shortage concerns. The world's second largest wheat producer, India, is facing a drop in wheat output this year due to the unusually hot weather in March, Reuters reported on Monday. And through the spirit, man, I feel like Esau's using harp to distort the weather and blame it on climate control and blame it on just try to make everybody go green type of deal and push towards this famine. Because now, why would Esau want to push toward a famine and hurt his own self? Because at the end of the day, they have the seeds. We eat seedless watermelon. They have the seeds. Okay, so they're ultimately trying to gain control through the MOTB. So if you like the scripture say, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, say if you have the mark. But what if you grow your plants? You don't have to buy and sell. You can grow enough crop to eat yearly, right? Wrong. They're going to outlaw that. They're already having farmers destroy their topsoil. Okay, they're They got these heat waves. They got land hurricanes, fertilizer plants exploding, wars. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's going to get to the point that you're going to have to go into the time of Egypt. All right, because a famine can sustain power. Okay, going back to Egypt. That's what made Egypt so great. Dealing with Joseph, the 7 years of plenteousness, they stored up, and then the 7 years of famine they saved, and they had all the other nations, coming to them for those resources and needing to live. Now think about this: when there's no food and you have to go like they did in Egypt and keep going for your rations, imagine how difficult and helpless you'll be when there's no seeds, there's no this, that, and the third, and believe that that's going to solve the issue. Okay, and you can't go home and take your strawberries or take your whatever's and then plant it, your mangoes or your different vegetables, and replant them to say, oh, I'm not gonna grow my own plants. Now Esau's taking that away, which is going to cause what? A famine. Okay, so in here it says this came out on May 2nd, 2022. It says the world's second largest wheat producer, India, is facing a drop in wheat output this year due to the unusually hot weather in March. Reuters report on Monday. The country saw 5 consecutive years of record wheat harvest, and officials were expecting another record yield this year, hoping to step up exports amid supply disruptions due to the Ukraine crisis. Reuters said. In the fiscal year to March, India export records. So they're pretty much stocking up. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, something happened. We can't. It's a wrench in our system. So we ain't gonna be able to produce. Just same as Babylon with their cargo. Because of COVID, all of a sudden you can't get boats to dock to load these freights. Then you got the truckers, and you're messing with them. And they're purposely choking out. They're doing a sanction on their own citizens. The people, the old, rich, young. You're gonna be held. I don't care how much money you got. If you ain't got no food, you ain't got no food. Okay, and you can't just keep hella food. Unless you have a storehouse, or if you're a millionaire that owns a wheat plant, a grain plant, then that makes a big difference. Okay, so now let's go back to the next article that's more recent that caught my eye. Okay, so we're gonna go into I haven't read this one yet, but reading it this morning, coming past the title of the article this morning, it says China addresses food security concerns. Okay, Beijing has been importing more soybeans recently, data shows. U.S. soybean exports to China are leading their 5-year average this year. The South China Morning Post reported on Monday, citing industry data. Beijing is looking to protect and bolster its supply chain as global food security fears mount. Right? American soybean producers shipped 27.3 metric tons to China from September 1st to April 22nd, according to Scott Gerald, an economist with the American Soybean Association. He told the SCMP that over the past 5 years, China ordered up to 23 million metric tons in the September-April periods. Gerald explains that the Russia-Ukraine conflict cramped China-bound exports of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil from the two farm-rich countries. The conflict has also driven up prices of soybean as a substitute. Meanwhile, 4/5 of U.S. soybeans are processed into livestock feed in China, and the rest into vegetable oil. Gert also noted that the South American soybean exporting nations, Argentina and Brazil, okay, and that's crazy because they're on the list too, Argentina and Paraguay, have been struggling with drought conditions since last year, reducing shipments to China from normally vibrant sources. So even Argentina's on the list, okay? So all these, pretty much everybody that's dealing with grains, dealing with your survival, the ability to get your bread and your oil and your and these grains are used to feed livestock, okay? As they said, with the soybean and everything. So that's going to affect your chicken. They're going to affect your beef, your whatever, all right? When we're talking about mass production of animals, man, because this place is they massively produce meat at a ridiculous amount. You're not even supposed to be knocking off cows like that at the rate Babylon's doing it, but this is a delicate city. This is a city that lives deliciously, you know, literally and you know, spiritually, okay? Now, read this last article, portion of it, and this one came out February 4th, okay? It says thousands evacuate U.S. fertilizer plant fire sparked fears of explosion. This happened February 4th, 2022. It says about 6,500 people were under evacuation orders for 3 days after a fire broke out at a North Carolina fertilizer plant, which will, so let's see here. Then you know, there's a couple. There's one in 2021. There's ones in all kind of time. Okay, time frames within these years. Okay, let's see here. Talking about the one in Winston-Salem. That's the only one that they're showing right now. You know, because Esau put a block on the news. You know, so they're showing the Winston-Salem fertilizer plant fire still possible. You know, so this is your ability to grow food. Okay, so Esau's like doing an indirect sanction on the people, man. And so it's gonna get to the point that everybody, you ain't gonna be able to just go to your Walmart, you ain't gonna be able to go to your Whole Food store or whatever you like to go to get your food and purchase your food at will. You're gonna have to go to one source. So say you got a mom and pop store that do a barter system, they ain't gonna have no food, man. Eventually there's gonna be one hub to get your food. And the only way you're gonna get it is if you have that MOTV, man. You know what I'm saying? They're setting the stage. They got the QR code set up. They got the RFID system set up. All right. They got the credit and the economic system set up, the ESG. Okay. I was going through my Credit Karma the other day, and they were saying, oh yeah, you went over here for the bulk of your month, you know, to test it and see. It's like, oh shit, yeah, the motherfuckers do be tracking. And they judge your credit off of where you been. What the fuck they got to do with spending money? Or getting loans or paying off interest or getting interest? Where I'm driving and all that. So they already have everything in the works. The stage is set. And they just need one huge thing. And they're just using this Ukraine thing to choke off supplies and also achieve other agendas also, as well as encamp Russia, Gog and Magog, with their anti-nuclear missile systems, because they believe that they're going to win this battle ultimately against the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And in latest news, they're sending up a cyborg. We call transgenders, sending up a cyborg to be the head of the naval space, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Not the naval, but the space operation. But, you know, I honestly, in my spirit, believe that's like a cyborg or something that they believe that can handle whatever they about to face, you know. So, yeah, man, this place, the stage is set, man. You know, all we have to do is keep watching, stand on our posts, you know. But yeah, this lesson was mainly based off the prophecies coming to pass. We're closer than we believe, and famine is definitely one part of the prophecy, you know. So all of you that ain't used to fasting and eating light and laying off the meat, you know, through the Spirit, the Lord had us get off the meat a lot. You know, through the spirit, we know how to hold off. We've been fasting. You know, we're doing our high holy days. You know, the feast of unleavened bread. All of these things that regulate our eating habits. You know, the Lord is going to protect His own. Okay, and His own is the prophets and the elect, the 144,000, and the elect of those that follow the truth and sincerity. So the Lord will put the spirit on us to fast, to store certain things. Not even store, because sometimes we may store, but store enough to get the job done. Because we ain't gonna be hiding in no house with a bunch of food like we on the car Walking Dead or something. Nah, we're gonna be moving about, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be moving about, because the Lord said we shall eat in a time of famine. We shall laugh in a time of famine, man. So with that being said, Sikh Allah, Yabashim Yashai, Bahava Kokadash, Yabashim Yashai, Bashim Kokadash, Brakatham, double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching, enduring truth, sincerity, a sincere Hapatham Supplying. Shalom.